Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today we are going to discuss the Druid overhaul referring to the Werebear Transformation. And in this we're going to discuss some of its new skills, how it's changed, how its looks has changed, how the skill reworks, and its new third resource, as well as give a calendar update to all the other updates such as Spriggan Form and the new transformation, basically what's coming over the next few days for news updates on Last Epoch and the Druid Transformation. So we got a forum post, so let's go ahead and go through it and discuss everything that they're wanting to tell us so far on the new transformation. The Druid overhaul for the Werebear. We hope all you Druid fans are ready for some excitement, because heading into patch 8.4, our Primalist most adaptive mastery is receiving a full development update. We are eager to share our vision for the future of the Druid mastery and all the exciting changes coming your way before the end of the year. Today marks the kickoff of our Druid Development Week, so stay tuned over the coming days to catch even more great news. Full schedule below. Today we'll be focusing on the Druid's first and most ferocious transformation, the Werebear. New resource, Rage. We're moving away from a mana-based resource for all Druid transforms. Previously, to maximize time in one form, you often had to avoid using your heavier abilities, and that resulted in one-dimensional gameplay, where you mostly spammed your low-cost abilities. That's why Swipe was the most popular. It not only had a low cost, but it could regenerate that mana or even more than its cost, allowing you to permanently stay in your form. Instead, all Druid transformations will now use a new resource called Rage. Rage will be restored to full when you enter a form, and it will drain slowly over time. It's already separated on how mana works, because mana did not drain slowly over time and mana was not recovered to full when you transformed into a form. So you can see that Rage already is working differently. Skills themselves will have little to no rage cost by default, so it won't feel punishing to utilize them or your whole set of abilities while transformed. There will be many ways to recover rage, so you will have a lot of build options if you want to stay in one form for a long duration. Reaching the point where you can stay in a form indefinitely should be much easier than before, and there will be more ways to achieve it. And some of the nodes that they have here, you can see Invigoration. You regain health and rage on kill or when you hit a rare or boss enemy. Glad to see that they put in the hit a rare or boss enemies to offset the fact you don't get many kills when you're fighting them. Frenzied Strikes is a node that's going to regain additional rage if you hit at least one enemy with Swipe. In Rage, you regain rage on health with War, or I believe it will be called Warcry, per enemy hit up to a maximum number of enemies. So War, which you could use now, is now going to be replaced with Warcry, which we'll get into below. But when you use Warcry inside your transformation, you can gain back rage and health for every enemy it hits. So nice to see there's going to be plenty of ways to regen it. Hopefully, even though it's something that decays slowly, it doesn't pick up in rate. So it's not going to work like Reaper Form does. Exactly, that's what it sounds like. It's always going to have that same slow rate. So as long as you're constantly on the move and not just sitting in a hub in town, you're not going to run out or fall out of your transformation. New Werebear Visuals. The design goal of our new Werebear model is to connect our players to a massive in-your-face brawler type of fantasy. We started with new concept art, increasing the size and presence of our thick-feared fighter. Concept number 3, Top Heavy, was quickly selected as the best champion of this fantasy. And you can see here that they had 6 different fantasies that they were going to base the Werebear off of. We had the Wendigo, we had the Barbaric, Top Heavy, which is just, you know, a beast. We had the Hulk, we had Savage, and we had Druidic. And if I tell you what, I kind of like Savage quite a bit. He looks very ferocious, but Top Heavy is, to me, my second favorite, but I like it as well. But Savage looks pretty beasty too, but more of a beast than a bear, so I can see why they would go with Top Heavy. Then you can see some of the concept art. We've covered this before in a concept art that they leaked before. Next came the design of our new ferocious model. Below you can find the upgraded version of our Werebear, complete with new textures and materials including bone, claw, fur, and war paint. And here you can see what he looks like. Definitely much better, much beastier, and more realistic. Doesn't look like a Play-Doh clay model that's just kind of been, you know, formed. And you can see for his animation, he definitely has that posture where he's just a big, mean beast. So getting into the Werebear skills. When recreating the Werebear, we knew we wanted to make him feel like a massive brawler. Some of the design requirements here included moderate mobility and heavy swiping attacks. The previous Werebear kit missed the mark in a few areas. Firstly, charge felt way too fast for the size and stature behind the Werebear. Secondly, swipe was a bit too successful. at restoring your mana, preventing our Druid players from feeling the desire for working in War or Ravage into their rotations. In our 8.4 redesign, the Werebear form has a mix of both new and returning skills, and even the returning ones will be revamped with new VFX, sounds, altar-based functionality, and new potential in their skill trees. Here's a sneak peek of some of the new skills added to the Werebear's ferocious arsenal. First up, Swipe. Swipe is one of the more successful elements of our previous Werebear form. The ability to use the existing Swipe skill tree to augment your Werebear's abilities was really great. It lets you create a stronger build while not wasting those precious specialization slots if you wanted to be permanently transformed. We saw this made a focused effort to get a few more interactions like Swipe into the transform trees. Every good brawler also needs a consistent spammable damage skill, and Swipe fits that rule very well, and here you can see him swiping away with his big massive arms and claws. Warcry. We replaced the old Werebear War with Warcry because it felt extremely thematic and fitting. This has also reduced redundancy within the primal skill trees as a whole. We were able to apply a reshuffle of the skill unlocks, allowing Warcry to be unlocked in the base Primalist instead of the Beast Master. Now if players choose to specialize in Warcry, they will gain the full effects in their ferocious Werebear form. And I tell you what, I'm super excited for that, because as long as Warcry hasn't changed too much, that means a lot of attack speed and damage and crit chance coming to the Werebear and really upping his offensive arsenal. Here you can see him using it. I've said this before when we saw this clip of the gameplay before, that it looked a lot like Warcry, and it's exactly what it is. Then we have another skill called Maul. Maul is a new skill for Werebear, replacing Ravage. Ravage had two issues that we wanted to resolve. Firstly, it didn't feel distinct enough for Swipe to use, given its similar status as a low AoE melee attack. It was difficult to balance it to compete with Swipe. With the latter, it had its own entire tree. Secondly, the new Werebear model has different proportions, with much larger arms and a less prominent head. A bite animation like Ravage no longer made sense with this new model. We still wanted to include a heavier melee attack with a cooldown in Werebear form to provide a way to mix up melee gameplay, so it's not always just swipe, swipe, swipe. To reinforce a distinct use case for this melee attack, we decided to give it a medium to large area of effect and give it more damage. We added movement to make it feel very different to attack with, and to help add enough weight and impact to the animation. With all these changes, the old name Ravage no longer fit as well, so we changed it to Maul. And here in the clip, you can see him using it. You leap forward just a couple of steps, but boy, do you come down hard. You even create a crater, which is pretty cool, really impactful, and looks and feels like it's going to feel really, really great. The next skill we have is Rampage, which I believe is replacing Charge. Every good brawler would really love a way to get around the battlefield quickly, especially in an ARPG. So while the Werebear's Charge provided this option and it worked mechanically, it was not ideal for charging Werebear to be moving so fast. It was basically the same as Lunge, which we weren't super enthused about, so we took a look at some of the other themes and ideas we wanted to portray to come up with a new movement skill that was unique and fun. Having a wild Rampage feels very thematic. Mechanically, you don't move super quickly, but you do damage all units along the way and can slightly adjust your trajectory while moving, which is pretty cool. And here they have a clip of it, and it looks really powerful. It looks like trash mobs you absolutely just plow through. Going to look like it's going to be a lot of fun in the next patch, making this a very high damaging skill, and as long as you can really increase the damage you do with it, could be a lot of fun as long as you know the maps really well, to try and use it to benefit yourself to get through maps really quick and kill as many mobs along the way as possible as well. But it looks really good. I really like the animation for it. And then we have the new Werebear skill tree, and they're going to tease us with some of the nodes coming in that Werebear skill tree. Remember, these are inside the Werebear skill tree, or Werebear form skill tree. One of the strengths of the Druid fantasy comes from the ability to adapt to danger through transformation. In our previous version of the Werebear, this transformation also came with a fair amount of restrictions. Once you transformed, you lost access to previous skills on your bar that you chose to specialize in. Our new Werebear design solves the problem by introducing several options for you to tie in previously specialized skills and utilize them for being transformed. As a result, the Werebear arsenal feels deeper and more diverse than ever before. Here are a few examples of these nodes, as well as some new powerful ones. And here we have 𝐁𝐮𝐲 Storm. You have a chance to cast Maelstrom when you use Swipe or Maul and hit at least one enemy. Obviously, they have excluded the numbers because they're probably still balancing them. But here you can see that's actually pretty cool that you'll be able to get Maelstrom whenever you use Swipe or Mal. And the reason this matters to me, or why I think it would be really cool, is to get a bunch of stacks of Maelstrom up from using Swipe. And then as you Rampage, move through to the next area, not only are you hitting the enemies along the way, but Maelstrom would be damaging them. Or if you bit Maelstrom in for, dodge or healing, it's another defensive mechanism for you to help keep you alive. The second node we have here is Skull Crusher. Your Fury Leap now tree, or your tree for Fury Leap now applies to Maul. I can only imagine how good this could end up being. Fury Leap has quite a few good nodes in. I assume that skill itself will also probably see some reworks. So I'm curious if things like able to reset on kill is going to happen so you could double spam Maul. It's going to be interesting exactly how those interact, and I'm definitely interested in this as it could make it feel really good, especially increasing the area of attack, as well as improving the damage, giving it crit chance, all of those things. I really like this node. It could be really powerful with the current tree. I assume that the Fury Leap tree will also probably see some changes as well, though. And then 3 more nodes we have. Wild Command. When you use Maul and hit at least one enemy, your minions deal increased damage for 8 seconds. This effect can stack. So, minions will still be a thing. You'll still be able to have a way to have your minions do more damage. Curious which minions are going to benefit the most while you're in these transformed states. But this could be really good. I like that we're going to be having some hybrid builds. Bringer of Storms, Maul and Rampage's base physical damage and added damage from all sources is converted to lightning. Consequently, this damage scales with increases to lightning damage, but not increases to physical damage. That's right, Lightning Werebear is going to be a thing. Armor Shred and Bleed chance from all sources is converted to Shock, and effects related to Armor Shred and Bleed now depend on Shock instead. Really like that. Crackling Assault, you cast Storm Lightning a number of times each second while rampaging. So not only can you convert your damage into lightning and be a lightning bear, but you can now cast Storm Lightning while you are rampaging. So I really like this idea of a lightning bear, and here we get a small clip of what that looks like. And you can see as he's rampaging, lightning is just coming down and striking everything in the way. It's awesome. So this is going to be really, really fun. I think there's going to be a lot of cool ways to build out your Werebear. And then finally, thank you for checking in and checking out this sneak peek of some of the changes coming to the Druid's Werebear patch in 8.4. We hope you join us again soon to check out some other exciting updates coming to the Druid Skills. And the next one is going to be Entangling Roots. So tomorrow they'll be releasing a blog just like this. I'll cover it with Entangling Roots. Then we'll have the Spriggan form. Then we'll have the new form on the 4th of November. And then we'll have the Druid overhaul overview of the new form on the 5th of November. So all this week, we're going to be getting great news about the Druids, so be looking forward to at least one video per day just on those. All right, travelers, that's going to be it from me. As always, stay safe and have a good day.